Hello and welcome to Dad's Air Job Podcast. This is your host, Adam Leatherbarrow, and I'm joined by Rob Horton and Callum Horton. Guys, remember, this is the original footballing podcast for dads, by dads, live on Dad's Air Job TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe at the bottom, hit the bell notification, and let's talk dad stuff. Guys, how are we getting on?
That is probably the best he's ever done that.
Yeah, I have to say, it took my breath away, mate. It was. I'm proud of you.
Boom, boom, boom. Bit Berlin style, was it?
It's a shame you've got your phone here behind the camera, isn't it? So that you could just read it off.
What this one?
Yeah. A little note to yourself.
No. How's your week been?
Monday was pretty rough, mate. Not gonna lie.
Oh, please share. What happened?
I've had better Mondays. So, and I think Callum's had better Mondays as well. We went to the pub to watch the Arsenal's opening game of the season away at Old Trafford, as it was, and our record away at Old Trafford was something like 2 wins in 18 games.
Okay.
And we won 1-0. We played awful. We won ugly. Bless Gyökeres, he put an effort in, but it was more like Brock Lesnar running around up front. And there was one part where he bodied a player. I have no idea who it is, right? And then he had the ball and he fell over, and even me and Callum had to laugh. But because of that, we celebrated a little bit too enthusiastically, a little bit overzealous. And I'm ashamed.
As if you've won the league with 37 Premier League games to go, right? That sort of celebration.
No, not at all.
No.
We won.
We've done the double, mate. It was like we won the Champions League and the league.
I wouldn't expect anything less. I mean, you do celebrate title wins in October, don't you?
No, only Tottenham do that. We won away.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
We won away, and I'm ashamed to say that I was so drunk and I was being sick so loud that I scared my children and they slept downstairs. So I've had better Mondays. I've been holding my my head in my hands all week, and apologizing to your children is the most humbling thing I think I've ever had to do. But in the moment, it was worth it. Although, as soon as I left the pub, I broke my flip-flops. I walked home barefooted, and they've been sore since. So,
where'd you go?
Went to the Pigeons.
Oh, the infamous Pigeons. Yeah, of course, it's the Pigeons.
So
it's the only pub worth going to.
Only pub worth going to in house. They're absolutely correct. But yeah, so that's me. How are you guys?
Cal, do you want to carry on?
Yeah, I've got echo what Rob said. I've never been so ill in my life.
He got lost.
No, I didn't. I had to get some air. I walked Rob home, then walked back, and I felt so rough. I had to sit on the bench. The bib bench where I normally sit with Bo to do the bibbing. Yeah. I sat on that bench and I was like, it was spinning so much I had to just sit down. Then I made it back home. Heather showed me a picture that she took of me when I was at the door. I was grey, like literally grey. And I'm just coming in and it was just, but when it's spinning so much, it was just all blur. And it's not great.
So what brought the drinking session? Obviously, you want to go and watch Arsenal and have a few beers, that's fine. But it sounds like you've taken it to that Bremen level before we've even been to Bremen.
So basically, Rob had a barbecue, right? So we'd already started.
We had family over, so we had the family over.
So we'd already started there. Then we went to the pub and just carried on, and then we started doing shorts. Oh, and it wasn't a good idea.
No,
it wasn't.
What shorts were you talking about?
Rum. Spice rum.
We're doing doubles as well. I don't even drink rum.
Yeah. Oh, it's not good.
The thing is, right, is like I'm not defending the indefensible because there is nothing. I am not looking for any sympathy, but I have been looking forward to the kickoff of the Premier League for literally right. So it's always been like another week. And then we got there. It was Man United away. It was already stressful. I'd probably drank 3 or 4 before we left the house. Then we because the kickoff wasn't until 4:30. So then we were drinking through the game. So that was another 4. And then we were drinking. Hello, Hammerette. And then we had probably 3 or 4 shorts as well, and they were doubles. So by the time I got home, I didn't know where. I don't remember much after that, really. I do remember a moment of clarity when I was in the toilet being sick, and I was like, "This could be it. This could be it." That was the moment of clarity I had. I could feel the cold sweat. I was being sick, and I thought, "This could be it." And then it was very blurry after that. So I've got very much my tail between my legs this week.
I can definitely say there was absolutely no parenting done on Monday. I literally didn't leave the bedroom. I literally just stayed. Work. Yeah, nah.
I went to work.
Nah. I literally didn't leave the bedroom. I was just so rough. Every time I got up, I thought I was gonna be sick. I just stayed laying down. However, I did watch a good box set on Netflix. Oh no, on Sky. The Count of Monte Cristo. I watched the whole lot in that day because I was just rough as hell. But yeah, no parenting at all got done. So yeah,
I went to work. I went and earned a living.
But
Callum's technically earning a living. He's just got the 6 weeks off.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, teachers. I know how teachers' wages work. They get paid for 9 months across 12 months. So that's how their wages actually work. But yeah,
all you teacher haters out there.
But yeah, just to kind of get there for the people who try to bring down those people who work in education. By the way, congratulations if you're a parent and you're listening and your children got their results today. I hope it went very well for them, and I hope it sets them up for whatever else they are doing next, regardless of what the results were. Obviously, I hope they were great.
And if it didn't, their life's over. Don't worry about it. You're going to have to support them for the rest of their lives. No, I'm joking. Don't worry. They can resit. Don't worry.
How about you, Ad?
What did you get in your GCSEs then?
I got 5 Bs, 4 Cs, 3 Ds, and an A.
Yeah,
then I did A levels after that, and then I did my degree.
I think I got 7 Cs, 1 A, and 2 Ds, and a BTEC, I think.
And a BTEC.
Yeah, I think that was 6 Cs, 1 BTEC, 1 A, 2 Ds. That's
guys. I got an E in history, right? Which is so bad because I love history, right? But I got an E in history, and I only really cared about the Jack the Ripper course when I did it, and I had to do Russia, and it was about the 5-year plans. But I was not listening at all. And I thought the 5-year plans were 5 separate year plans. I didn't realize they were for 5 years. And so I was writing in the exam about these 1 year plans. And I had no idea what was going on. It was pretty bad.
Fair enough.
It's probably the worst thing.
I got all C's and 1 B. So my B was in art. So
you like drawing pictures for a living, didn't you? So.
Yeah, I do. You know, the little willies on the corner of the notepad, so they've done well.
They're called rockets. The rockets.
Rockets with big bouncy balls. No, not them balls. Ralph, control yourself. Contain yourself. No, my weekend was good. I had my mum round, and we had West Ham on, and I love my mum.
Let's talk about West Ham.
No, not yet. No, it will segue into West Ham later, but
okay.
I love my mum to bits. So I generally do, but she's a jinx. She is a big
bad,
jinx when it comes to when she comes round and the football's on. I'm like Kerry says, "Oh, your mum's coming around the weekend," and I'm like, "Oh, right." I said, "What day's that?" She goes, "Oh, this day." And I'm like, "Oh, fucking West Ham's playing that day." And it's just like, if it's on the TV and she's there, I'm like, oh, fucking hell. Like, honestly, this has gone through. This isn't just a one-off thing. This is a constant in my West Ham life. So West Ham got knocked out the FA Cup to Walsall, I believe, years and years ago, in like the early 90s. And went to the playoff final where we lost against Crystal Palace. My mum was there. Even to the point when England lost to France in the World Cup and Harry Kane missed that penalty.
You know what?
I was like, no. I was just sitting there. I'm like, I'm sitting there. I'm thinking, oh God, I really hope this. You know, it was like the Undertaker. I really hope the streak ends tonight, and it just. Oh,
do you know what? You say that. I remember when we were watching football when we were younger, and if Arsenal got a penalty, we'd like send mum out. We were like, "Mum, you got that."
It's bad. Now I'm like, every time I'm saying to Karen, I'm like, Kel, could we arrange a day where West Ham's not playing, like on a Wednesday night or something, like it's a Champions League night? But no. But every time a game of football is on, if it's West Ham or England, we end up losing if my mum's in the room, or if I go around there and they've got the thing on. I was like, I love it to bits, but when it's football and it's that 90 minutes, I'm like, I don't really want to have any association with her during that game.
that must just be a common thing, because like when I was a kid, when I played football, my mum came to one game, yeah, and the one game that I came to, I broke my leg, yeah, and she never ever came ever again to watch me play because she thought she was a jinx. So in my whole career, she came to one game, broke my leg, and she never came again.
No.
Yeah.
Bad luck, Chrissy. That.
Yeah, bad times.
Yeah. Bad luck, Chrissy.
Yeah, bad luck, Chrissy. Yeah.
And my mum's called Karen, so
oh no,
it's proper Karen vibes.
Oh yeah, I bet she's got a right attitude, won't she?
Happy Amarit. No, she's not due around tomorrow, so thank God for that. At least I've got some glimmer of hope for tomorrow night. But yeah, no, it's just So basically, I had my mum around, had a barbecue. It was good. Had a bit of a play date, and then Sunday we had a little. Connie went round her friend's house in whose dad is a famous musician from Scritti Politti. So those that know who Scritti Politti are, in like 80s new wave band.
Sing a song, Ed. Give us a little rendition.
I don't really know. Was it? I found.
So you've gone to this bloke's house. You don't know his song.
I do know his song. I am a stalker.
Oh, he's really famous, but I can't. Oh, no.
No, but he's. I can't sing copyright reasons, but because we've had a few copyright issues on this channel over the past couple of weeks. But yeah, so basically we're in there, and the kids got our house on fire, and they were great, and Connie's been an absolute angel this weekend and yesterday when I had her for the full day. So I was really, really happy. Really, really happy. Yeah. But yeah, so I've never had to apologise to her though, like you have, Rob. I mean, not to my daughter. I mean to your kids. You don't need to apologise to my kids.
I think it's important for them to see that you are willing to apologise to them, because
True. It's good for their education.
Yeah, it's good for them to know that we are not without. We're not above the law, and it's important that they can see that you are willing to give them that respect by apologising to them. So I happily apologised to them on Monday morning because I was very ashamed of myself.
they still haven't left the corner shaking.
That's not true. They're still not talking to me, but
it's the you got a nun coming through with a bell going shame. Shame.
Yeah, I had to do a lap of the estate. It was horrible.
Kelly had to go in the sage the rooms.
Well, she probably used the bell from school for dinner times, right?
It's not Victoria times, Dad.
It's been that long, mate.
Oh, sorry.
Showing your age there, mate. They've got alarms on their phones now. It goes off on their phones saying it's lunchtime.
Really? Is that what happens now?
No, it doesn't. No, I'm joking. It's a joke, Dad. It's a joke.
Right, I fell for it.
Oh God.
I'm gonna put this to the people in the chat. Say, have you ever apologised to your kids?
I have. Yeah, I've done that. Even I've done that to Bo. I think
it's important to show humility, and I don't apologise for it.
Yeah.
Although, yeah.
Yeah, what shall I put? Yes, it's important. It also yes, it's life skills. No,
It's good modelling. It's good modelling.
no, I'm the boss. There you go. There you go. Two options there.
Do you know what I've enjoyed about this summer though so far? Because we didn't get a chance to speak about parenting last week. Like just before we go on to the football stuff, is I've really enjoyed our little days out. And just like spending that time with Bo has been fantastic. Like we went to the Paddington experience. Have any of you seen it? Up in London. Oh mate, you've got to do it. It's like what's it called? Like when it's role play where you go in, and basically they take you through the set. They've made up this set where you pretend you're on a train and you basically follow a story on to see Paddington at the end. Mate, it was so good. The actors were so good, and it was like interactive where they had to solve problems or find things to then be able to move on to the next room. So good for kids. That was up in the South Bank. I recommend anyone seen that or like is interested. It's worth like every penny. And other things that we've got like we're going natural history next week.
Yeah, we're coming with you.
Well, looking forward to.
Are we coming with you on that?
Yeah, you're coming to that one. Yeah. But like beach days, we've done so many beach days this summer. It's been mate, the beach has been unreal. Bo absolutely loves it. Like a walk, baby.
Yeah, we've done a few of those. We took the kids to Frinton, and Mum and Dad came that day, but it was so good because previously Alea hasn't always been as confident in the water. She's done okay, but she's not always been as confident as like Danny has been over recent years, where he's out there swimming. And so like since she's been doing her swimming lessons and things like that, she's done a lot better, and so that was really fun. And we've done quite a lot of farm days and things like that, which have been good, and like interactive farms where you can like feed the animals and that kind of thing has been great. And it's nice just for their own. We've got outdoorsy kids. Like my kids really take after Kelly and really love animals and things like that. And so Kelly and Alea have taken up horse riding together, and they go out and do the step balls, and that's just I love it because it was always Kelly's thing, but I love it that Alea loves it too. So that's been great. And then like me and Danny have done a couple of walks in through the forest and stuff like that. And then also just randomly, so we've been gaming a little bit together, which has been really nice. So we've been doing some bonding that way too. But like randomly the other day, he picked up a copy of Dracula and started reading Dracula, and it just kind of blew my mind, like how much he's sort of changing his interests are changing. And don't get me wrong, I'm not expecting to pick up like full text of things or anything like that. But it's just nice to see how like even his own interest and the way he's using his time is changing in the past sort of 6 weeks. So I think sometimes you take for granted how quick things can change in a short period of time, because it's always like, oh well, it's they might not see someone for a month or two, and it's like, oh, they've changed so much, but you don't necessarily realize how much they change in a couple of weeks either. And so like with Danny, he was, I don't know, it just seems like his perception has opened up a lot more. And that's been
what chapter is he up to?
He's not read the full text. He's reading like younger reader friendly versions, but he's finished it. He's read Jekyll and Hyde. It's just it's just really nice to see him doing it.
Oh, he's not on one chapter 2 no.
Not reading Sesame Street.
That's right. I forget how young he is.
I tell you what, these Thursday nights are getting rough, Cal, aren't they? Jesus.
Oh mate.
Oh.
Well, it's because Adam's got to do something, because he's got to try and be entertaining. Because I tell you what, West Ham ain't.
Let's not go there. Let's not
And
go there.
segue into football.
No. We'll wait for the segue because we've got a special guest coming up at 9:00. So people want to tune in to stay online, and then you'll see who that special guest is. But yeah. So what woods did you go to, Rob? Out of curiosity, because I went to the woods yesterday.
We went to the one on the way to Sybil Hedenham. I can't remember what it's called.
That's Borewoods, isn't it?
What,
Something
in Gosfield?
Yeah, on the way to Sybil Hedenham.
Yeah,
That's Borewoods.
That's where I went yesterday.
Oh, did ya?
Yeah, I got lost.
Did ya? We took the really long route.
I had Buddy as well.
Oh, did ya? We took the long route that brings you out at Gosfield if you keep going straight up.
That's the way we went.
We did that,
That's the way we went.
We went all the way back round the back of the private school. Like there's like a pathway that goes around the outside.
That's it.
Yeah, and so we kind of followed that, and he'd been a couple of times with Kelly, and he like showed me some of the things that they'd seen as well. Oh yeah, it was great. It was great. It was just me and him. He had a stick. It looked like Gandalf's stick. Kept saying, "You shall not pass." It was great. It was a really good time. Again, all these segues into West Ham at the minute. They shall not pass. That's true. They can't pass the defence, and they can't pass to each other. They can't pass fucking water at the minute. It's just terrible. So what was your general feelings on the Premier League as a whole then, with it returning? Well, should we do the debate now, or do you want to just talk about the Premier League in general? We'll talk about the Premier League in general, and then we'll do the debate when the special guest is on. Okay. Yeah. So I thought entertainment-wise overall, I think it was good to see the football back. Really, wasn't it? Like Liverpool, leaving it last knock-ins to get their result, and also Mohamed Salah scoring again on an opening day fixture is just a given, isn't it? But you know what, though? It was quite good to see Liverpool looking vulnerable at home against a Bournemouth side that were quite depleted, actually. They'd lost some of their key players. Kluivert wasn't starting. Semenyo was incredible, by the way. What a player. He is a player. Better than Kudus, in my opinion. I'm not just saying that because he's don't play for us, but I generally, we've had this discussion before. I generally think he's better than Mohamed Kudus. He's better than a lot of left wingers, but they were vulnerable. They weren't great, and I know, and it's easy to say Arsenal weren't great, but I would take away at Old Trafford, like I said, they were Liverpool at home as the champions, and they weren't great. And I do think a lot of the wins this year in the Premier League. If you look at Man United, they're the same. If you look at City, you could argue they're the same. Arsenal are the flip. But for the most part, teams have players where they are basically setting up as if to say, we will score more than you, and that's how we will win. All right. I'm not stupid enough to say that Liverpool haven't got a good defence, but defensively, they look more vulnerable than they did going forward. And then you could say the same about Man United against Arsenal. Arsenal were hanging on for dear life against Man United. Yeah. Man City clearly very strong going forward, absolutely spanked Leeds. No, not Leeds, sorry. Wolves, yeah. Wolves. But then, there was a couple of other quite high scoring fixtures as well, where you've Tottenham. They look pretty good, actually. It was only Burnley, and defensively, I still think they're going to be vulnerable this year. But going forward, they were also looking like we're just going to try and score more. So I think it sets up for quite an entertaining Premier League this year, because it's almost like less about chess and more like how can we just absolutely overrun you. Overload. Yeah. And so I think that's going to be exciting. Because you could see that Arsenal were trying to adapt to that with Gyökeres, and signing someone like Eze is going to eat into Gyökeres' sort of playing style, I think. But even Arsenal are trying to adapt their quite rigid style of football, and they were trying to do that against Man United. But you could see they weren't comfortable with it because they were all over the place. So it's going to take some time.
Yeah. I mean, just touching on what Rob said, I think Arsenal play with Gyökeres is going to be so interesting, because what I was saying to Rob in the pub when we were watching it was Gyökeres holds his position. He basically plays on the between the 18-yard box. He never sort of drifts in where Havertz will come and try and look for play, where he basically just stays in between the centre halves and sort of holds that space. But what that then opens up for is, people like Odegaard to come into that space, or this is exactly what I was about to say. But if Eze is definitely getting through the door, he can come in on that left side, and then pick up that space, and then he could then be the one that threads that ball down the sides of the centre half, so then run onto and nick a goal or score a goal. Do you know what I mean? So just by him holding his position when we're playing down the line, it creates this big space sort of in here, which I think is going to be. I think it's going to be scary when it works, especially Eze coming in on the left. And also, if Eze doesn't play on the left and it's Madawaki playing on that side, again, he will hold. If you watched him when he played in our last pre-season, he basically just stayed out wide. Yeah. But then that obviously then creates even a bigger space because he's staying out wide. So that switch play is just going to be on all day long. And I just think, I think we're going to be exciting going forward. And I think Eucharist is going to bag loads of goals.
Yeah, I think he'll do well.
And defensively, I think we're still the best defensive team in the league as well. So it could be, it could be a defence that wins the league this year, as opposed to teams that are scoring loads this year.
Yeah, because I think, is Gay definitely going to Liverpool?
I haven't seen anything confirmed on Ornstein yet.
No,
but
I think Liverpool struggling. Van Dijk can't do it on his own. I think he's as a partner.
They just got Frimpong injured. Frimpong's out to the end of September.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Is he really?
I mean, I don't think defensively he's great. I think someone like Joe Gomez is probably a better defender than him. But going forward, he definitely creates more. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll park that for now because we're going to bring in our special guest, and that is Alex. Alex, how we doing, mate?
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Right, mate. How are you?
Oh, good. Thank you very much. Good. Thank you very much.
Good.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you sound good, mate.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, that's fine. To those that don't know Alex is a massive TikTok influencer, I'm going to say, because looking through his well, everywhere he goes, but looking at the views that you've got on your TikTok, you've got 1.5 million views for Fulkrug, you've got 26.5 reflecting on someone don't like in Graham Potter, you've got 875,000 views on why Guido Rodriguez lined up for West Ham at the weekend. So that one. Let's know your secret.
Are you just flicking up and down on your? So you just keep all day long. You just flick back to your video. Is that how you're doing it?
No, I have no idea. I have no idea why some videos take off on TikTok and why some don't. It's a very weird platform. You can make a video that you think is going to do really well and it gets absolutely no views. You can make a video that you don't think anything of and then suddenly it goes absolutely mental. I've spent hours on making a video before and it's got like 2,000 views. I've spent 2 minutes making a video before and it's got 1 million views. So it's completely random sometimes, it feels. But I've been at it now for just over 2 years, and I just enjoy it. I won't call myself massive, but I'm just enjoying myself.
That's cool.
Well, let's have a look at that video, for instance. So
hold on, you're gonna get copyright, yeah?
No, we'll be all right on this one.
Should be all right. I was fuming. I really was fuming.
You look like you need a hug, mate.
I woke up that I just got back from holiday. I'd arrived home at the very early hours of the morning. I got up. I was optimistic for the day. I made a really positive video about 2 hours before that, saying, "Do you know what? I'm being optimistic about this season." And I saw that starting lineup. And I saw that Freddie Potts was on the bench and Rodriguez was starting. And I was just like, oh, for God's sake, we just got the same midfield as last season. I can see exactly what's going to happen. It was just so frustrating to see. But it ended up proving it exactly kind of like, it pretty much happened exactly the way, well, not exactly the way, but yeah, the midfield was a huge issue. Huge issue.
Should we start on talking about West Ham? Do you want to talk about the game, or do you want to just talk about West Ham in general?
I could talk West Ham all day. If you want to talk about the game last weekend, we started off.
Let's start on that, because Happy Amaret, it took 5.5 hours each way to Sunderland, and to get that level of performance is it's not acceptable, is it, Alex?
No. Well, as I say,
as well.
I came back off holiday, and I knew I was coming back off holiday in the early hours of the morning, and I had the option someone offered me a ticket to the Sunderland game, and I nearly took it, but I kind of thought, I'm not going to get home until about 3 a.m. on the Saturday morning, and I thought, no, do you know what? That journey is just going to be a nightmare. I'm so glad I didn't do it. I'm so glad, because if I had done that, I think I would have been would have been very depressed. So a lot of respect to everyone that went up there. It did sound like we were giving some really good support. We always do on away games, but they were really let down by the team in that second half.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Sorry, I just wanted to say, just on the Sunderland side of things, Sunderland have had a pretty decent summer. I'm biased anyway because I'm a Granit Xhaka fanboy, but signing someone like him who's done it at the top end of the table, and he's captained at the top end of the table, and then he's left and done well at Bayern. Won championships there as well. That type of leadership is going to be massive in a newly promoted side who have also strengthened quite well beyond him as well. And I said I predicted it at the week last week that I thought Sunderland would turn you guys over, and so did Callum actually. Just because of the adrenaline almost like of being promoted and having like all these new superstar players for them who are going to go out and absolutely rattle a team that just seems almost lethargic from July.
That's stagnant.
Yeah.
That's what I thought about West Ham. I think it's stagnant.
Yeah, I think that's a really good word to use. I mean, you've got to give a lot of respect to Sunderland because they worked their socks off in that game. They really, really, I mean, defensively, they were just throwing themselves in front of absolutely everything. We had no time on the ball whatsoever, especially in that second half. I think in the first half, they sat off us a little bit, allowed us to play our game a little bit, tried to hit us on the counter, and they were exposing little holes in our midfield. And then in the second half, they just decided, right, we're just going to go for that, and we're really going to push on those weaknesses we saw in our first half. And they did that really, really well. They had a lot of energy, they had a lot of desire, they had a lot of fight, and you know, it worked for them really well. So I've got a lot of respect for them because they played their game really well. They were the better team on the day, but yeah, we were just really, really poor, especially in that second half.
Alex, can I just say something? You know how you have just commented on how Sunderland play? That is how normally every other fan around the country comments about West Ham when they play against West Ham normally. Do you know what I mean? When you play against West Ham, they're normally spirited, they've got a fight, you know, they work hard, and it's just almost like you've lost that. Like West Ham seem to have lost that a little bit, especially I even think that at the last year, I think you lost a bit of fight. And you sort of just cruise to the end of the season, where that's not normally a West Ham sort of thing to do.
No, I totally agree with you. Over the last couple of seasons, I mean, we can still do it at the Emirates. We do it at the Emirates.
2 seasons in a row. Yeah, cheers. Thank you for that, Alex. Cheers.
I had to get that inside, but no, we don't. We haven't been doing that enough, and it's just there is definitely a lack of energy in that, especially in that midfield, and a lot of the that's why Sunderland was so good because of their midfield. They just there was just a lot of energy. There's a lot of pace in their team as well. And yeah, we've lost pace, we've lost energy, and we've lost youth to an extent as well. We still have a pretty old team, and that midfield was pretty old as well. We had Paquetá, who's 26, and then we had Walphouse, who's 30, and Rodriguez, who is 31 in that midfield. Now, I got mowed out the other day for calling 31 old, but for a footballer, it is a little bit. In the context, you would want someone in there who's got a little bit more, who has got youth on their side, which is why I wanted to see Freddie Potts in there, because that is what he has. And he has the legs, he has the pace, he can read the game really, really well. And I was just really disappointed not to see him in that starting 11.
Who Who do you think needs to shoulder responsibility for that performance? Because it was poor. Where do you think the accountability goes?
So the problem is
David Sullivan.
David Sullivan is the root of all of our issues. That is without a shadow of a doubt. Every
Right.
single problem you always draw a line all the way back to David Sullivan and the decisions that man has made. But when we're playing on the pitch, you can't really put all the blame on him because he doesn't have any control over the performances on the day. We do lack leaders. We've lacked a proper leader in our team ever since Declan Rice left, really. We haven't found a good replacement for him. Like, we have Mark Noble, he was a real leader. Declan Rice then replaced him as captain, he was a really good leader. And that's what we've been really missing. Not only the quality that Rice had, but his leadership skills as well. Now, Bowen's been made captain, but he's a different kind of captain than a Declan Rice or a Mark Noble. He wants to lead by example.
Like an Odegaard.
Yeah, and that's fine, but as long as you've got someone else in that side that can, drag them up the field and tell them exactly what needs to be said on the pitch, And we don't have that. That's what's been lacking as well. There's something else that we failed to address in the transfer market, among many things.
Yeah. What's your? Because I've heard some stuff about Potter. Some stuff come out about Potter, especially after the Sunderland game. What's your thoughts on Potter? And do you think he's losing the fans as well as the players, or do you think he just hasn't been given the funds to then get him what he wants, or he's still trying to ship everyone out? Because I think we can all say you're definitely in a transition period, but then I think a lot of us, we spoke to Adam about this quite a lot, but we thought last season would be your main transition, and then this year would be you'd spend a bit of money and you'd start chopping and changing people, but he hasn't really done any of that. So what's your thoughts on Potter and moving forward, really?
I think the majority of fans are still behind Potter. I think there are some that just don't think he's going to succeed. I think there's some that don't think he's going to succeed because he hasn't been properly backed by the board. And that is a fair argument because we all expected us to do a lot more in the transfer market than what we've done. We've brought in 4 players so far. You would argue that only 2 of those are Potter signings, so to speak. You've got Potter and McCauley, who are supposed to be choosing the players, and then David Sullivan, who is just supposed to be signing those checks. So David Sullivan just likes to get involved, and he likes to bring in his own players. He's got a couple of mates who are agents, and they offer him players, and he's like, yeah, I'll do you a favour. You've got Carl Walker-Peters, for example, who I do think is a good player. I do think he's a good squad player and someone we could definitely utilise, but he doesn't improve their starting 11. Callum Wilson is a classic Sullivan signing. There is no way anyone can ever convince me that Graham Potter looked at him and thought, yeah, that's the player I want. I just can't believe it. I think talking to the media, he's gonna say, yeah, Callum's a good player and all this, but probably behind the scenes, he's thinking, I didn't really want him. He's not what I need. He's not my kind of player. So far, with the players we brought in a goalkeeper that doesn't really help the outfield players, and we brought in Juve, who I do think looks like a really good signing. And so far, we've got 10 days left until the window shuts, and our main priority in the summer was improve our midfield, and we still have not signed a single midfielder. And that is really starting to concern us now, because if we don't sign midfielders, and we are going into the new season with exactly the same midfielders we had last season, that could be a real issue, because are we going to have at least 3 worse teams than us this season? I don't know. I think Sunderland's looking really good. I think Leeds looks really good. I think Burnley are going to be down there. I think Burnley are going to finish bottom. You can make some arguments for a couple of other teams like Wolves or Brentford, maybe Everton as well. But I fear that we could be in for another really tough season if we don't get some quite significant business done in the next 10 days.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing
just can't.
Sorry,
I'll just
go on,
read this
Dad.
comment out from Happy Amaret. So Happy Amaret said, "We are old, slow, and so far behind other sides. We play Potter's system that does not get the best out of a very few decent players that we do have, and he has his favourites regardless of how shit they are." Yeah, it's pretty much parallel, isn't it?
Yeah. I think every manager always has their favourites, don't they? Every manager does. I think you go and ask any Premier League team, you ask them about a specific manager, and they will name one player that always was in their starting 11, regardless of how the fans thought about him. I mean, that was David Moyes, Thomas Soucek, for example, always in the starting lineup under David Moyes. He absolutely loved him, and it seems like James Ward-Prowse is that player for Graham Potter, even though a lot of us are not overly convinced by him. He works hard, and he runs a lot, but doesn't really offer too much apart from set pieces, and that really let him down at the weekend. His set pieces were really poor at the weekend. So if he doesn't have that, then he offers very, very little. So he's another player that we're not convinced by.
I think the reason why he plays James Ward-Prowse is the fact that he does the easy things, like he does the basics easy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, so it would literally link up the ball with the defence, and that's why we had about 65% possession at the weekend, is because we knocked the ball about in our own half for quite some time and we had no creative output. But what Ward-Prowse does do is he kind of reassures the midfield in front of the defence to be able to have a slow build-up play. But that's not what West Ham, or not so much what the West Ham fans want, but sometimes things like that, you kind of go, right, okay, I get why he's in the team because he offers that element well. Whereas you couldn't rely on Thomas Soucek being a ball distributor or Edson Alvarez being a ball distributor. So Ward-Prowse comes in and instantly improves an area that we lacked under Lopetegui, really. So, Rob, you was going to ask a question, weren't you?
Oh, I wasn't going to ask a question. I was just going to say, is he one of the few players who actually does offer some leadership, though? Do you think?
I mean, he was captain at Southampton. I think he's been made vice captain now. I'm not 100% sure. I heard some rumours.
It's not been official, was it?
No, it hasn't been officially announced, but they've never really announced who like the vice captain is. So I think he is vice captain. And yeah, I mean, I think he does have leadership qualities, but again, you wouldn't look at him and think he's someone that I'll be. You want your captain to be someone that you're a little bit afraid of, if you know what I mean. I'm not scared of, but someone who, if they're going to get angry, they're going to give it to you. And he doesn't strike me as that kind of person, but I do think he has some leadership qualities. And going back to what Adam was saying, yeah, he does offer a lot in the midfield with distributing the ball, which is fine if you do have someone else creative. If you've got a player like a box-to-box midfielder in there who can pick up one of those balls and makes those driving runs, that's fine, having someone who can just dot it around. If you've got someone a little bit more creative who can run at the defence up top, then yeah, it's great. But when you're playing him alongside someone like Rodriguez, who is just always looking to play the safe ball as well, it just makes it very stale in that midfield. And I don't think that James Ward-Prowse offers a huge amount defensively. As I say, he runs about, but defensively he doesn't add as much as I would want to see. I feel like we could get a better player in that role to do the job that he does, and a little bit more.
I mean, what I think is frustrating, obviously, watching West Ham is you've seen all these other clubs like Sunderland, who've got, 13 players in the door now, doing lots of business, and people who are, as you've named, going to be around you, in and around where you're going to end up this season, all doing business. And again, West Ham seem to be holding off or can't get people through the door. I know you keep saying about midfielders, and I've spoke to Adam about this like in depth. Who is it that you should be targeting and should be getting this door, if that's buying or loaning? Because I think, unfortunately, we're getting to a point in the season now, in the transfer sagas, where it's going to be all loans. Because are you going to match wages? Can you afford can you afford how much they're going to cost? Like, who is it that you're getting in? Because Chelsea need to offload. I'm sure that they're only over the river. I'm sure that you could have a little chat with them and get some of their players off their books.
We have a chat with Chelsea over possible loan deals for their players every 6 months, every transfer window. We have a little chat with Chelsea over some availability for some of their players, and none of them ever come. We never signed, but we're always linked with players from Chelsea who are available for loan. But who was the last one who actually joined us on loan from Chelsea? I can't remember. I think the last player we actually signed from Chelsea was Emerson, wasn't it? And that's going back a few years. So for some reason, we can't seem to get any deals done with Chelsea when it comes to these loan players. In regards to what other players you want to get in, I mean, I thought Douglas Luiz was a great shout, but obviously he was excited by the European football that Nottingham Forest offer. Like James McAtee, who I thought was a young good player, he's got Nottingham Forest. He had Dewsbury Hall, he's got Everton, and I mean you could just list off all the so many targets that we have been in talks with this summer who have just ended up elsewhere. I mean, who was it? Jacob Ramsey. He went Newcastle. Jack Grealish went Everton as well. And I think when it comes to him, it was his wages. Now, when it comes to our finances, are we able to afford? I think there's a difference between what we are able to afford and what David Sullivan wants to spend. That's the issue. Like if we've got a player that's available for 40 million, but David Sullivan doesn't want to spend any more than 30 million on that player, he won't spend any more than 30 million on that player. And that's what we're seeing with Matheus Fernandes right now. He's valued him at a certain amount. Southampton want a lot more. And so he's not gonna offer any more. He's going to try and hope that they reduce their asking price to get that deal done. And whether that will happen or not, we will have to wait and see. I don't know how desperate Southampton are to sell. Are they going to be able to bring in a replacement? But it's something we see every single transfer window. We are in talks with a player, we're in talks with them for weeks and weeks and weeks. There's offers going in and nothing ever materialises because we don't want to spend that little bit extra just to get that deal over the line.
The thing is, I'm quite glad that Sullivan has held his purse strings quite close because we're not overpaying for players. There are no. If we bought a player from day one in the transfer window, for instance, Madsen, we was quoted £35 million for him. We got him for 15 a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it just proves that playing the long game works. But if you're looking to answer Callum's question before, like if you're looking for a midfielder to come in and all these options are going pretty quickly, I can't. I'm baffled as to why Kobe Mainoo hasn't left Man United yet. And I think if there's a loan opportunity there for him to come to West Ham and put himself in the shop window, you've got a World Cup year ahead of you as well. It could be a really good signing, and we tend
and
to.
He's
have
got legs. He has got legs.
Exactly.
You talk about
he's young.
Your
he's
age
not
in
on big
midfield.
wages
He is
either.
young, and he can get around the pitch. He's actually a great shout. I didn't think of him.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. They're looking to offload a load of their youth academy players to match PSR because they've got Cunha in, they've got Mbemo in, they've got Sesko in. There's these sort of players, but like Kobe Mainoo, even if he was available for like £40 million, who would you rather have, Fernandes or Mainoo? That's a no-brainer for me. So when you're comparing the valuation of it, it kind of makes, why are we chasing after Fernandes when we know realistically we're not going to get him because Southampton don't want to sell him for the valuation that we could buy someone else with. So it's just the recruitment side to it. It's just baffling at the minute.
Yeah. Well, go back to what you said about like Sullivan standing his ground. I do agree with that to a point of trying to get the best value. But when you're 10 days away from the transfer window closing and it's starting to look we're starting to look quite desperate when it comes to getting midfielders. That doesn't help because now we look really desperate and teams are going to be like, well, you're desperate for the midfielder. If you want him, this is what you've got to pay. So it works against you at the same time. because we are desperate for midfielders. Everyone knows that, so they're going to naturally want to try and get as much money out of us as possible because
Yeah.
they know that if we need those players. So
Yeah.
it
It's a
works to a
2p
certain point.
It's a 2p 5p moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's be honest, it's where Arsenal have been the last 2 seasons. Everyone's known that we need a striker for the last 18 months, 2 years. Yeah, and we haven't, shot the bullet to go, right, we want you and we're going to pay big money for you. We've longed it out, all right, and hopefully we've got our man now. But a lot of Arsenal fans will say, well, that's lost us the league for the last two years. Well, at least 2 years. That might have lost us the league. Where I'm not being horrible, Adam, and I know it was my prediction about you lot getting relegated this year, but by you not pulling the trigger, it might be you determining where you are this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Especially with,
there's no doubt about that. I mean, you're not the only one because we've been. I think we're odds on to be relegated through the bookmakers now, based on that performance and where we're going. But as Alex said, the transfer window doesn't end until 10 days' time. If I was going to be if I was going to be concerned about that defeat, and it was game week 6, and there was no transfer window, and you can't do nothing until January, then I'll be more concerned than what I am now. But I know that we've got ability there to go out and sign players. We just need to go and bloody sign them, which is a possible. It is possible. It can be done, but it's just annoying that we're frustrated as fans because, like as Kerry said in the chat, we've had 70 days to sort this situation out, and now we're leaving it to the last 10. But it's
who's your next game against?
Chelsea tomorrow night.
Who?
Chelsea.
Maybe
I'm not worried.
Maybe we should be captain in Palmer.
The thing is, right, it would be so West Ham to go and you do them 2-1. It'd be such a West Ham thing to do.
It would.
Palmer hasn't scored since April.
January
Yeah,
in the
he
league.
hasn't from open play. He hasn't scored a goal from open play since Jan. Yeah. He's bad. He's bad to do it tomorrow night.
No, I reckon you'll do it. It'd be such a West Ham thing.
They weren't convincing against Crystal Palace either. They were not convincing.
No,
they weren't. No, they weren't.
It would be a West Ham thing to be the first team to beat the world champions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, don't worry. I've got my video all planned.
You'll never sing that.
I've got my video. I've got my video all planned. If we do it,
hold on. Didn't they break the Arsenal 49? Didn't we lose against them?
No, it's Man United.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Was it Man United? Yeah, it was Man United.
We got absolutely stitched up.
I know West Ham have done us a few times with lots of different things. I can't think
last team at Highbury, first team of Everett.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. There you go. I knew it was something.
Yeah, last at Highbury first. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I knew it was something. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would be a West Ham thing to go and do them 2-1. Are you home or away?
Home.
Oh, you'll win it. 100%. That's my bet this week. 100%.
I wish we had your optimism, Cal.
Do you think? I know. I mean, it would obviously you want to beat them, right? What's that? Like you're on a train.
Someone's squeaking.
Can anyone hear that background noise? All right. Okay.
No.
It's like a train went past. Losing would be awful tomorrow, right? But could that be a positive as well? Like, okay, like we've messed up the first 2 games of the season here. We need to make sure there is strength and depth here. Or
I hope it adds pressure. I hope it adds pressure to the board. That's all. If a loss occurs,
I think it depends on the nature of the defeat because I don't think many people are expecting anything but a Chelsea win tomorrow. Now, if we go to the game and they win a tight 1-0, but it's a semi-decent performance from us, then that might actually take some of the pressure off. Annoyingly, I still think the pressure should be on. But at the same time, I also have to say that just because we lost our first game of the season doesn't necessarily mean much. Someone always loses their first game of the season. Sometimes they can go on and have, a much better season than that may suggest. I think it was you, Adam, wasn't it, that made a video. You said something like 17 times we've lost our opening fixture in the Premier League. 17 times. We've got a terrible record on the first game of the season. And I think it was a couple of
53
seasons
goals
ago.
for that in.
Yeah, I think it was a couple of seasons ago. We lost 2-0 away to Newcastle on the first game of the season, but that season we ended up finishing 6th in the league. So,
Yeah.
and I think that summer as well was a very similar summer because I'm not entirely sure, but I think we were not very optimistic about our chances. The transfer window was really poor, as the first game of the season was probably we were feeling very similar. Oh God, we're in for a crappy season, and then we ended up having a brilliant season. So
And
we don't
and
know.
the two players we signed that summer, one was Craig Dawson, that everyone thought, he's our fourth choice centre back, and the other one was Ben Rama, that we ended up getting on loan on deadline day because he failed a blood test. So and then Ben Rama is one of the Conference League final heroes by scoring on the day, and Bannon Dawson, overcome every single word. I'll never doubt a transfer again or kind of criticise anyone unless it's Callum Wilson. But anything like that, you can just never know.
But also, the season before, David Moyes had taken over halfway through the season after we had a disappointing foreign manager who put us in relegation trouble. And then we had the British manager come in and keep us up barely. Poor transfer window. I'm seeing similarities here. I am. I'm not, so we're going to finish 6th. We're going to finish 6th.
Well, there's another thing that's happening out on social media at the minute, and that's friend of the show, Nigel Khan, who come from the same area of the woods as Callum and Rob, and he's reliving the 85-86 season, but as if social media was present. So now he's going and doing match day reviews and how he feels before games of games that occurred back in that 85-86 season, and it worked out that West Ham lost 3 of their first 4 games in that season. We ended up finishing 3rd and almost won the league that year.
Wow!
So it just proves you can't really judge anything early doors in the summer.
No, it's very true. It's very true. Who else lost over that weekend? I mean, obviously,
Man United.
Man United lost.
That's a great segue. That's a great segue.
But I don't think they're going to have as bad a season as they had last year. They got no European football, so I think they're going to do a lot better. But Everton, for example, at Boise, he lost his first game. I don't.
And they've bought players. And they've bought players. Something, they're saying, Everton got Grealish, Everton got Dewsbury Hall, and Everton got Barry, but they lost 1-0 to Leeds.
Yeah,
they're no different to what we are. Yeah, they got away with it, really.
They were really shocking because Leeds should have been like 5-0 up at half time.
Yeah,
they were decent. all over them. So I think Everton were just a little bit lucky that Leeds didn't take their chances. I know Moyes afterwards was complaining about the penalty, how he shouldn't have been, and that's the reason he lost. I had that argument many times when Moyes pointed to one singular thing as to why we lost, completely ignoring the fact that his team played absolutely shocking for 75 minutes of the game.
Yeah. So, okay, well, let's have a segue then, because part of our feature that we're going to be doing, and then we'll jump onto Arsenal after this little bit, but we're going to do a feature where we're debating a certain topic, and it will be the handball situation that occurred in the Everton Leeds game. So let's think, should it be hand to ball or ball to hand? But first, let's do a little video intro. So this is an episode of Match of Debate, and the argument is it hand to ball or ball to hand? What are the rule stipulations on these incidences? So
what is the actual rule? Do you know the rule, Adam?
Well, if a ball hits your hand, it's handball, right? That's what.
Does it matter if it's ball to hand or hand to ball? Would be my sort of starting point.
I think it does matter. I think it depends where the hand is. Okay. If you're reaching out and you're hitting the ball, that's hand to ball and that's handball. But if you're going out like that and someone kicks it and it's hit your hand's in an unnatural position, but technically that's ball to hand. So both can be handball. Each one is a unique situation.
Okay, wait then.
You got.
Do you think Tarkovsky's was a penalty?
I can see why they gave it, but I still have issues with it because they said that it was handball because he leant in. And because he leant in, his arm was in the way and it hit his arm. But I don't see how he could lean in without his arm being in that position. Was he supposed to you have when you're leaning, you have your hand over to catch you if you fall. So I see why they said it was, but at the same time, I feel like it was very harsh because I don't know what else he was supposed to do in that situation. So, what do you guys think?
Right, do you know what I think? Right. So I know they're saying the ball hits your hand, it's handball, right? But when you're playing football, you talk about being the right, like your hand being in the right position. Yeah, we've all played football. If you go and block a ball, or you go and put your leg out, yeah, the first thing you do is do this with your hand because you're sort of especially if you're stretching, you sort of do this to sort of help half balance you out, right? So when you talk about natural position, that is a natural position to as you're stretching to. You don't run round like this, do you? Where
a lot of them, the defenders, they stick their arms behind their backs.
Now, yeah, 100%. Sorry, now because the whole thing is if your hand's out here, it's handball. So the unnatural position is to do this now, which he tried to do, yeah, because he's actually trying to tuck his arms in, yeah, which is an unnatural position if you just think about how your body moves. I'm not trying to say I'm saying about just how your body moves. Sorry, yeah, that is an unnatural position when you're playing football. Yeah, how often, other than a wall, do you have your hands by your side or behind your back? Now, sorry.
Rarely.
Yeah, very rarely.
In
modern day football, it is now obviously you have to because of that's they've now reprogrammed their minds or they've been trained now or they when they're practicing they train now to put their arms by their side, which he's done. Yeah. And obviously he's trying to block the ball. So if he's put his arms by his sides like this and then leant into the ball to do that, yeah, I don't think that's a handball. I thought it was well asked because he's actually trying to tuck his arms in, which, like I said before, like your body moves is an unnatural position. Yeah, he's tucked his arms in and then tried to then use his body. Obviously, it's hit his arm. I get that. I'm not saying it hasn't hit his arm, yeah, but then to block it. So for me, I would say, I would go, no, it's not a penalty. But then if you look at the laws of the game, I suppose if the ball hits your arm, it's a penalty. Then it's a penalty. But
yeah,
what I'm trying to say is, naturally your arms flare out. It's the same as when you go up for a header. You go up for a header, your arms do this, yeah. So you can, because obviously that's where you use your arms to head the ball. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So doing this is an unnatural position anyway. Yeah. So for me, I think it was. I don't think it should have been a penalty, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But,
that's what I say. I see why they gave it because he was leaning in, but at the same time, I feel like it's very harsh because I don't know what else he was supposed to do with his arm. His arm was as close to him as possible. So I feel like it was a harsh decision. But when I said like that, I wasn't talking about jumping. I was talking about a defender just running out, going like that.
No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. Against arms.
Yeah. No, but I do get it. But I'm just trying to make another. I'm just trying to explain. I just think it's so nitty gritty now that you can't what isn't we're debating now. What is a natural position? Like, do you know what I mean? Or even with penalties now, there has to be a fluent. Like, for God's sake, just take. Do you know what I mean? Like, what happened? Just running up and kicking a ball. Like, everything is the game is just getting stupid because it's micromanaged. And I know there's lots of money and I know points and things like that, and it costs fans and everything. So many people invest. I get it. I'm not trying to say it, but you're almost losing. Like we're focused so much on these little things. It's just like what happened to when was the last time you saw someone do something expressive on the pitch? Like really, like back in the day, like Ronaldo doing like when it was like you don't get it anymore.
What, like,
you might get
what, like a
you might
piece
get
of
a few
art?
little step overs or something like that. Like I'm just thinking like it's almost like programmed.
Champions League last season saw a lot of that actually. To say teams like PSG, sorry, I don't mean to bring PSG out, but they
No, you
did
could bring
quite a lot of their attacking players, and Barcelona as well, players like Yamal they did. But in the Premier League, you're very right. Like you don't see that expression as much anymore.
No, it's
So,
micromanaged too much.
Yeah, everyone's got to play a very particular way. It's not the same. It's definitely not the same game that I grew up watching over the last 20 years. It's
So-
changed, but I guess we've got to change with it, haven't we?
That's it. Just a quick one then. So with handball, where does the hand stop in this debate?
Oh wow.
Where does the hand stop for it not to be a handball?
It's the shirt now, isn't it? Isn't it a shirt colour?
I think yeah, it's up to the elbow,
Sleeve,
I
isn't it?
believe.
The sleeve,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
And I
it's,
think if
I can get it there. So it's that point there. It's the middle of your bicep, isn't it? They say if it's the sleeve there, that's classed, that's deemed as part of the body. Whereas if it's anything below, like skin on show, then
I mean,
it's
this just proves my
handball.
point. This
Like
proves my point of what I was just saying.
Tarkovsky had his captain's armband on, and his arm was up there. So, well, his shirt was up there. So when they've pinpointed it, they've gone, "Oh, he's touched his flesh, but his shirt's up there." So it's like, well, where's the tolerance then in terms of whether it's handball or not?
I think a lot of times when it comes to a lot of these decisions, not just handball, but a lot of these other decisions, common sense just needs to play a much larger part in the decision making process. Like sometimes the common sense answer is, well, he definitely didn't mean to do that. He definitely didn't deliberately try and hand that ball. You can quite clearly see when someone has deliberately kind of put their arm out, or it's just completely accidental. Like for example, when someone's not even looking at the ball, he doesn't even know it's coming, and it hits their arm. You know he didn't mean it. He didn't put his arm there, but technically his arm's in an unnatural position. It could be handball, but again, that's kind of harsh. And I feel sometimes you just have to look at these situations and go, that's not deliberate. And you see it now. You see players deliberately trying to kick the ball against players' arms if they are not in a natural position, just to try and get a decision. I have seen that so many times over the last few years now VAR has been introduced. That's why players have always got their arms behind their back. Not so they accidentally do it, it's so they don't give the attacking player something to try and hit as well. Because you do see players try and do that to try and trick the ref, especially if that hand is out. So when it comes to the handball, I think it's very unique. It's very unique. Every single decision you can look at and come to a different opinion of what the handball rule is, and that is why it is just so complicated. There's too much grey area when it comes to it. There's too much room for interpretation. And I don't know how you make the rule a lot clearer to make it fair. It's either if it hits the hand, then it's handball. If it doesn't hit the hand, it's not. But as you say, sometimes it's just not fair because it's clearly accidental. So I think this is always going to be an issue because
I think you know
too
another
much
way
room
of
for
looking at it.
interpretation.
You know another way to look at it is that might help you out at the end of the season if Everton down there fighting with you.
It might do.
Or it might relegate you where Leeds stay up by 3 points.
It might do.
Might do.
But we don't.
Might do.
It might do. Yeah. But it's very possible. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it has no impact on our season whatsoever. And we're completely in control of our own fate.
No, true.
That
You
would
might
be
get
nice.
top six. Yeah, you're right. You might get top six. Who knows?
Yeah, that might stop us getting Champions League because Leeds will have got
exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah, no, you're right. You are right.
Yeah.
But I just think, for me, I watched it. I was like, I knew as soon as it happened, I went, they're going to give a penalty. But in my head, as a player, I'd go, that's harsh.
Yeah.
Like if I was playing, I'd go, that's well harsh, mate. And I think everyone in the country would go that said that. I don't think I've heard one person go, yeah, 100% penalty, yeah, deliberate handball, however you want to put it, no chance. You think it's deliberate?
Yeah,
I thought it was a penalty. I do.
Yeah.
Listen, no, I've let you guys. I'll do my
No, go for it.
and I'll duck out.
Alex, sorry, Alex, are you penalty or no penalty?
I'm no penalty.
You're no penalty. So you think it's a penalty, Rob? Yeah.
I do. I played centre half for a number of years. I know exactly what I believe. I know exactly what Tarkowski was trying to do there. He knew he couldn't make himself big with his arms, so what he did was he put his arms behind his back and then he leant into the ball. Don't care. Even if you don't like it and you don't like to see it, Tarkowski knew what he was doing, and he tried to do like, oh, I don't know how the linesman saw it from all the way up. Bollocks, mate. You knew exactly what you were doing. You were leaning into the ball. You were trying to prevent a goal scoring opportunity. You didn't think you'd get your leg up because you're over in your 30s, so you use yourself by leaning over. That's exactly what happened. Get over it. You lost because you were shit, not because of the penalty.
I agree with that last bit. Everton did lose because they were shit. And I do see where you're coming from as well, because that's why I said that's why I understood why it was given, because it did look like he did deliberately try and go in. He did.
I'm not saying I like it, but I do think it was a penalty.
Oh, fair enough.
I think it's a penalty as well. I'm of the same
Straight
opinion as Rob. Yeah. It's the 2-2. This is a Desmond debate, I think. I think it was a penalty. And the thing is, the ball took the shot, and then it took a deflection, which went on to Tarkowski. So there could be that argument. It wasn't a direct contact with the arm, but it's Everton. It's David Moyes. It's a penalty for me.
Okay,
when you take that into consideration.
3-1. It's 3-1. Okay, we'll end this debate then. But Alex, we'll let you go, mate. Thank you so much for coming on. We'll keep an eye out for your TikToks. So go follow Alex on his TikTok account, West Ham Fan 86, and also the same handle on X. Is that right?
Yeah, same handle on X. And Instagram,
and you,
which I'm trying.
And you can find Alex. Yeah,
Cheers,
and
Alex.
you can find Alex on West Ham Network as well.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Cheers for having me on, guys. Cheers.
Take
Thanks,
care.
Alex. Cheers, mate.
Take care.
Right.
See you later. Bye.
What's up, bloke?
Yeah, legend.
We did do the outro video. There we go.
Nice. I just followed him on X as well. I was already following him on TikTok, but I wasn't following him.
His videos are great. Honestly, they're so good. They're so good.
Yeah, no, brilliant.
Where was we? We was here, weren't we? Right, okay. So talk Arsenal then. Talking of controversial decisions, the way Arsenal played was quite controversial, don't you think?
No.
What do you mean?
No, I don't think it was controversial. I think it was poor. I don't really know what they would have done that would have warranted what they did that warranted a controversial performance, because I do think the game was poorly refereed, and I don't think Arsenal saw a lion's share of refereeing decisions that went in their favour. Actually, I thought the referee was much more lenient to Man United, but they were home and their fans were always going to be louder, and so the referee was always going to be more inclined to blow up for soft fouls or 50-50s. That's fine. I get that. I don't think Arsenal were controversial. I think they were poor. And I don't think they were together. They scored their classic corner goal, which was nice actually, because we massively dropped off scoring from set pieces at the end of last season, particularly when Big Gabs got injured and Havertz wasn't there and things like that. So it was nice to see that the old magic was still there, and Calafiori with his wonderful locks of hair doing the business. And I actually think that Calafiori will start more games than Miles Lewis-Skelly this year will, if he stays fit and if Martinelli stays in the team. If Eze signs, then it will be interesting to see who he plays, Skelly or Calafiori. But at the moment, I think it's Calafiori's to lose, and I think Skelly will come in for minutes, which is right for an 18-year-old. The same as Ranieri and potentially Dalman. Apparently Zubimendi was ill, and didn't train at all for 2 days up to the game, but he was desperate to play, which
I wondered where he was.
Yeah, which might explain why he did play, but it might explain why his performance was quite poor. I think the team hasn't obviously adapted to Gyökeres yet. You can see the style of play isn't quite right. There was a few times where Martin Odegaard had a great game, by the way. It was unfortunate that his numbers don't reflect that. He was excellent in the press. He had the ball a lot, didn't find the pass enough. And I think a lot of the time what you will see is as Callum said, Gyökeres was in that space waiting for that through ball. But Arsenal players are so drilled to look for the right or the left that they're not looking through the middle because, like Callum said, they're so used to watching Havertz drop in, whereas Gyökeres ain't coming, he's staying. And so there was a couple of times where there was some delicious through balls to be had and Gyökeres is in. And so I think once that clicks, there'll be more. Defensively, we were a bit of a shambles. I think, there was a lot of the times where there was a breakdown in communication between the defence and the midfield, and we were getting completely overrun. And, you're having like 2-on-4s, which was just crazy. But I think context is important. We were away, first game of the season at Old Trafford. We don't win at Old Trafford very often, 2 in 17 or something like that, 3 in 18.
Didn't you draw last year?
We did. We haven't lost to a Big Six side since like 2023. It's a crazy number of days now, but context is important. Away at Old Trafford, 3 points. Man United are going to be better this season. You can see that, like we were talking about earlier. This is going to be the season where teams are just trying to outscore each other because defensively, with the exception of Arsenal, the teams are looking a little bit rough. And Arsenal's defense is the best defense in the league. I would say that with confidence. If you want to say, for example, that Liverpool have got the best attack in the league, you combine Arsenal's defense and Liverpool's attack, and you've got a super team, haven't you? So I think that
both our centre halves got into the team PFA's team of the season, so I think that says it all.
Yeah, I think Man United are going to be good this year. I think they're going to be better. And I think that people will go, actually, that Arsenal result, they won ugly. And do you know what they don't say about Arsenal? They don't say Arsenal win ugly.
No. Listen, you've literally taken the words out of my mouth. We did what Liverpool did multiple times last season.
Agreed.
There's loads of games where Liverpool were crap last season, but then their forwards, arguably, that's their job. Yeah, got them out of trouble. They went and scored a goal, went and scored a couple of goals last 10 minutes of the game, which I know is obviously what they're getting paid to do, but they were crap all game and they nicked a result. And people are now going, oh, Arsenal, they look poor, or they didn't do this, or they need to be worried. No, I'm not worried whatsoever. We did exactly what Liverpool did multiple times last year, and it won them the league. So, it was first, as Rob says, first game of the season. We weren't great, but we got, years gone by that we've been done 2 or 3-0 back. Emery's time and Arsene Wenger's time, we'd have got battered. You know what I mean? So for us to fight and have a bit of luck and ride our luck and then nick a goal, happy days. Listen, if we win the league doing that all year, I'll take that. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think we're going to need to, especially with people like Zubimendi and Odegaard and Gyökeres and
Eze when he comes.
Huh? I think it's just a matter of time when it clicks. If I'm being honest with you, I think it's exciting times, and I think Gyökeres is going to be absolutely dominant. I think he overtried. I think that his biggest problem on Saturday was he wanted to have too much of an impact. Where I think I think once he gets his goal, his first goal, I think it ease off himself, and it become more natural. I think he tried to be too physical. He tried to do too much because the ball won't find him. So when he did get the ball, like me and Rob laughed about when he fell over, because it was like, oh, I've got the ball now I need to do something with it. Where he probably should have set it off and then made another run, but You know, he wanted to try and get a shot off to show people, look, I'm here to have shots. Do you know what I mean? Well, I think in as time goes, it find his footing and it will come naturally. Huh?
Yeah, I think he was so pumped for the game that it ruined his game. And that's okay because he will eventually calm down. I also think that Eze will be great for him because Eze's the type of player that's going to go and beat the last man and put a ball across the 6-yard box, and that's where Gyökeres will be. And I think Saka was trying to do that at the weekend. It didn't quite come off, and Saka did not have a good game. And then on the other side of things, you know, you've got a striker now where your job is to feed the striker. That's what you're kind of building towards now. We're feeding our main man, and like with Odegaard, few opportunities missed at the through ball because, you know, the build-up play has been so different for the last 4 or 5 years, and Arsenal are going to have to adapt to versatility because there's going to be games where Gyökeres plays. There's going to be and for now anyway, there'll be times when there is either Trossard, Marino, or Martinelli up front, and then when Havertz comes back, there's a whole different kind of play again. So and hopefully it's not a long-term injury for Havertz because he is still a very important player for Arsenal Football Club. You can see that because even when he came on actually for the last 20 minutes or so, you could see that there was almost like okay, we know what we're doing. It still wasn't great, but there was almost like okay, we kind of know where we are. So I don't want to overreact. And like I said, you know, it could all still go pear-shaped and Gyökeres might not be the one, but who wants to believe everyone else might do. But as an Arsenal fan, why are you going to let yourself believe that? You have to back the new man. You finally got an out-and-out striker. You're all in on him until you're not. And I'm all in on him until there's a reason not to be. And right now, I've still seen all the signs of someone who is absolutely desperate to be an absolute king at the club, and that's fine. So,
yeah, I agree. 100%. I agree. I agree 100%. I think, you know, as you said, even if he isn't the one, at least we've had a punt. You know, we've been waiting 18 months to have a punt, and now we're having a punt. So, you know, as Rock, you've got to back him until he's not.
Doesn't work out.
Yeah, and I honestly can't see it not working out because he's an absolute beast. And he can finish. So,
and he's going to get opportunities as well. I mean, I know Arsenal only got 2 penalties in the league last year, and they were in the same game. But he has. I think he is Arsenal's official penalty taker now.
Yeah. But also, Rob, you mentioned about Eze. You mentioned about Eze coming in. Look what he did for Mateta. Look how he fed Mateta.
I was literally thinking that.
Look how he and let's be honest, Mateta and Gyökeres, I would say, are quite similar. From what I've seen, players, it's going to feed him. It's going to absolutely feed him. I think
you're right. I think you'll see Odegaard and Saka will continue to be besties, and then you'll see this new kind of thing, a bit like what Xhaka did for Martinelli, actually. But you'll see that with Eze and with Gyökeres, and I think that will mean there'll be no more of this. Who do we double up on? Because we know who the main man is. Because Arsenal have the capacity to have as many as 3 or 4 main men now.
Well, talking of Mateta, he scored tonight as Crystal Palace beat that side 1-0.
Good.
Did you watch the game? Did you watch the game?
No.
Oh, can I just say, Crystal Palace looked unreal.
They're good.
I've got it on in front. Huh?
Mate, they won 1-0 against a Norwegian side.
No,
Fredrikstad.
Adam, I watched the game. It could have been a lot more. They hit the post. They had loads cleared off the line. Goalkeeper made about 5 or 6 great saves. It could have been double figures.
But they were good. They were good against. They were good against Chelsea and all. I mean, let's not forget if Eze's goal weren't disallowed, they beat Chelsea.
Also,
and you could argue that was a questionable disallow.
Yeah, true. I think that was questionable disallow. Yeah, I do think that should have been a goal. But again,
fine. I do
Crystal
think
Palace. Crystal Palace only made 1 sub out of 5. Only made 1 sub out of 5 tonight.
Yeah. Also, can I just say, Eze hasn't played. Yeah, I don't think he was on the bench either, was he?
No. They don't want to jeopardise the transfer.
No, but Gay played the whole game.
Yeah, Gay played.
If he goes, it'll be the last week of the window. But they've got players lined up. I know they're looking at the Leicester boy. I can't say his name, so I'm not going to pretend. I think it begins with like
El Canus.
Right, him. So they're looking at him to replace Eze, and I've also heard rumours that if Gahey does go to Liverpool, they've had a little look at Kirill. Crystal Palace, and obviously he's still in London, playing in the Premier League. He'd play every week. It's a World Cup year. That'd be probably quite a good move for Kirill. He's a ball-playing centre-back. He is quite good. He was amazing against Real Madrid. There's probably quite a good opportunity for business there, maybe, if Palace fans think that's the way to find.
Would he drop down to European competitions?
Would he play every week to be in the World Cup squad?
Who's that?
Kirill. I mean, he's also been linked to Porto, I think, as well. To be fair,
Porto, yeah, that was where my head was going.
Yeah, I mean, he has been linked to Porto, so that might be a better move, and I'd prefer that move because that means he's not in the Premier League anymore. But I just, in terms of like maybe a less complicated transfer for all parties, it's not bad.
And talking of other players in and out, Trossard looks like he's going to sign a new deal. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's smart business. I don't think Arsenal are going to try and extend his contract. They've just given him more money. And the reason why they've given him more money is to acknowledge his goal contributions over the last 2 years, which was something ridiculous, considering he's a bench fodder, right? Or has been bench fodder. I think, like I've said before, if I was keeping one of Trossard or Martinelli, at this very moment, the player to be keeping is Trossard. Especially if you're going to bring in an Eze, right? Now, I personally think Eze is more of a central attacking forward rather than a winger. That's a personal opinion. If Arteta thinks he's going to play wing, then he's a winger, fine, right? But then if you're going to keep one of them, you've got to be keeping Trossard on current output. I think the reason why Arteta loves Martinelli so much is that Martinelli is excellent on the defensive side of things, whereas Trossard isn't going to offer that. And I don't know whether Eze is going to be able to do that as well as Martinelli does. So that will be interesting to see how that pans out, because there have been sort of things on social media about how Saudi Arabia, is it Saudi?
Yeah.
Are looking at
80 mil
at Martinelli again, and if they offer you 80 million,
80 mil,
yeah, then you can't really be turning that down, can you? So, but then
80 mil.
It'd be interesting to. But do you know what? Yeah, it would be interesting to see how much leg is in that, because apparently Arsenal have been linked to Morgan Rogers again as well. So
sorry.
I don't know.
That's insane. £80 million for Martinelli.
How much do you think he's worth?
He's not worth
Not
that much.
80 mil.
How much do you think he's worth?
60? 60?
Yeah, I think 60 million to a Premier League team, but to a Saudi team, and money doesn't really matter. You take what you can get.
Is he better than Brian Mbeumo?
No.
So Brian Mbeumo went for £71 million, didn't he?
If Brian Mbeumo had gone to Saudi Arabia, they probably could have got more. Look at Johan Duran.
Duran. He's at Fenerbahce now.
Yeah, I know. But look how much
Duran.
Initially, yeah. So I don't, and Martinelli at that moment was as good as Duran. Yeah, at that moment.
Don't they play in different positions though?
They do, but numbers over the last 3 years, Martinelli hasn't got. Do you know Martinelli was our top goal scorer in the Premier League last year?
Was he really?
I think so. Yeah, I think he scored our most goals in the Premier League last year. I'm pretty sure. I think so. Yeah.
He scored against Madrid as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So I think that's
80
right.
mil then. He's worth 80 mil.
I do think that's right. I think he scored our
most. For Rodrigo.
I think it was like 12 or 13. But I do think he was our top goal scorer in the Premier League last year.
Okay.
So, and I will fact check that. But yeah.
Okay. So Okay, should we go on to the next segment then, which is and Callum
Right.
still can't hear it.
Wait, you guys start. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay. Yeah, so
What's the
Cal,
segment?
chat GPT get banged. So basically we want to see how we got on with fantasy football this week. But part of the feature is that how did you get on? How did you get
I
on?
didn't do it.
Well, you didn't do it. You didn't do your
No.
fantasy football team.
No,
Oh, that's a forfeit. That's a forfeit for Bremen, definitely.
no, I ain't.
Even your
I'm a
brother-in-law's
36, I'm a
have joined.
36-year-old man, mate. I ain't doing no forfeit.
Mate, you got to wear a Hamburg top.
What, and get killed?
Yeah, pretty much. No, just like a hamburger. That'd be better, I think.
I didn't realise that you had to do it before 6:30.
Well, yeah, because it was Friday night game, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, I didn't realise.
Oh, you.
I'm not gonna lie to
Wally.
you, mate. I don't really give a shit. I'm really, really sorry. I know you and Rob love it, but I couldn't give a crap about why do I care?
Is that my motor? Hold on. Sorry, keep talking.
Right, so listen, all you FPL people out there, like, really, like, why am I going to be looking at my team? Yeah, picking my team. Yeah, looking at players' stats and all this sort of stuff. For why? Yeah, I'm not going to be a Premiership manager. Right? Like, oh, it's a bit of fun.
I'm getting the words.
Yeah. I couldn't care less.
Cop out.
I don't care less, mate. I don't get it. Like you and Rob, like love it up and look at sacks. Like Rob watches videos and stuff and like podcasts. Nah, I don't get it.
Right. Okay. So, okay, we'll get you can commentate on the. We've lost about 4 viewers for that, Gal. Thanks for that input.
Have you really?
No.
Oh, I was going to say.
Yeah, we have.
Sorry.
No. So basically, Chat GPT FC. This is what the team is at the moment. Now, I believe they need some transfers. What do you guys think?
I can't even see who they got. Oh Jesus, what's happening here?
I mean, I don't know. I would definitely take out Isak and I'd put Rodgers in.
What? Yeah, why have they got Isak in? Because he's not going to be playing.
That's who the computer picked, mate. That's who the computer picked.
Pickford. Who's that? Aki. Oh, this is getting my nerves. I can't zoom in.
I'd just, I mean, if you wanted to have an easy week, you just put in Rodgers and Hall, and leave it as it is.
Rodgers and Hull.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've asked ChatGPT, what transfers would you make? And this is what they come up with. So they said, key observations: Pickford, Kelleher, both decent, but Everton aren't strong defensively, so not so was that so not much upside there. Defence: Ain't Nori has a tough fixture against Tottenham, as does Garvadale. Lewis Potter, a very weak FPL option, won't get constant starts. Bench: Hall, Rosselev, not ideal. But you picked him. ChatGPT said, "Don't go us." Vert's decent pick. Newcastle away is tricky. I think that's a Monday night fixture as well, isn't it? Kudus, Man City, tough fixture. Neto, rotation, not explosive. Bowen, captain, good fixture at home. Oh, there you go, Cal. See? Even ChatGPT is fancying West Ham against Chelsea at this rate. Woods, forwards, Chris Wood, okay, but ceiling is low, despite scoring twice at the weekend.
Yeah.
Isak, flagged injury doubt. What's his injury doubt?
Mental health.
That his heart isn't in the right place, maybe. Cunha, away, decent fixture. So the problems we've got at the minute is Lewis Hall, Russell F. Hall, poor for FPL. Isak injury risk. He's not injured. He's just put up a strop. And too many players with tough fixtures this week. Caduce. Suggested transfers. Sell Isak and bring in a nailed striker. So this is the suggested transfers that they've put in. So they've put Nicholas Jackson.
Who's still back, isn't he?
He's still suspended, isn't he?
I think so.
Yeah. So Solanke against Bournemouth, against his old club. I mean, that I could see that working.
Richarlison was good last week, 2 goals.
Yeah, but also offered to Crystal Palace this week. And Watkins, if affordable. So, yeah, it'd be affordable if we've got Isak. If you have 2 free transfers, which we don't. So, yeah, so basically they're suggesting that we ship out Isak and get Watkins in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they want to do. That's what we'll do. So we'll put Watkins in for Isak.
And then you need to start Hall, didn't you, against Liverpool?
Yeah. So Hall against Liverpool, and then I'll ask her, I'll say, who do you think should be captain? This is scary, the fact that we're asking this. Good question. Bowen is currently a captain. My take, Bowen is the safest pick. Again, stick with Bowen. Vice captain Verts.
I took Bowen out.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's Jack GPT's take on what they want to do for their FPL. Interesting. How's your FPL teams getting on?
I had an awful week, but I do think part of that is because I have decided to play the whole season without Haaland and Salah. So I had a stacked midfield that didn't perform this week. The average was 54. I scored 37, and I'm pretty much bottom of every league that I'm in currently. But I have already made a transfer. I took Bowen straight out. I don't like the way that West Ham looked. And I bought in Wood because I think for the time being, he's going to be a nailed starter, considering that he scored 2 in game week 1. I actually think the fixtures are kinder to me this week. So I've got Sells and Ronaldo. No, that's wrong. I've got Sells and Murillo from Forest, Cucurella, Gabriel, Vertza, Saka, Palmer, Fernandez, Gyökeres, and Wood. And then I need to make a decision about whether I play. I'm probably going to play Ronaldo from Sunderland against Burnley. I just think that he's an attacking player at fullback, and they could get a clean sheet and some goal returns there. So it could be a good week for me there. And he got 6 points last week. And I didn't play him because I'm an idiot. So, yeah.
Okay, and Cal, how's your team get on? Oh no, you ain't picked one, have you? There's still time, mate. There's still time. So
you're playing tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So got to make changes before 6 o'clock tomorrow. You got to get your team in before 6 o'clock. You still got time. I mean, there's only teams on. Like we're going to look through the Dad's Ad Job table from bottom to top, and Mark Hawes, who was on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, last week in fact, is bottom of the league. He's the strongest team in the FPL with 27 points. And then we could just go on and on. So there's Rob. Rob is currently positioned at 44th place with Easy Eze Does It. I'm not far in front of him with 41st with Max Kilimanjaro, 43 points. My dad is beating me this week. That shows how bad Premier League has been with Granddad's Ad Job. And then that's where Chat GPT FC are of 49 points with 31st place. And we'll just scroll up to the top here as to who, if there's any outstanding names there. We've got Bradley Edwards, who is kit designer extraordinaire. He's currently placed 15th. Oh, look, the brother-in-law's there. Lee Sackabros. He's had a great week, 73 points. Yeah, it's Tom Baker. Yeah, Kudus and condolences. Yeah. And top of the league is this guy. I don't know who he is, but Cab Dilahi. Let's have a look at his team. 81 points. 81 points. Captain Haaland had I had Rangers in my team, but I took him out. 8 Nori, yeah. Cucurella, yeah. Poro. Areola was goalkeeper. Oh, imagine if he had a decent goalkeeper. He's actually picked 2 goalkeepers that didn't play. He must have thought Areola was going to be playing, but Hamadson coming, didn't he? So yeah, Areola, he had a blank for a goalkeeper. Interesting. But yeah, 81 points. The highest points ever this week is 127 points, and it had to be a Spurs fan, didn't it? Chris Wood, Ekatike, Harden. He plays bench boost as well.
Yeah.
Milinkovic, Gakpo, Ronaldo, Vicario, Reinders, Churchy, Kudus. Wow. That's good. Yeah, it's not a bad week, but playing your cards so early in the game week it's not great, is it? Like you probably wait till you have a gut.
I think you get 2 bench boosts this season, though. Is that right?
Do you?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. So yeah, that is the Dad's Our Job FPL for this week, and that confirms this week's Chat GPT get banged.
Before we go, can we just enjoy talking about the Tottenham meltdown yesterday after it was confirmed that we would be going in for Eze?
Of course.
Can I just ask a question? Is anyone else's speaker buzzing?
Yeah.
Is yours buzzing?
It's not now because I think no, stop it. I think it's adding headphones.
It's not my headphones, is it? Oh, it is my headphones. Oh, what's that happening?
It's buzzing.
Wet ears, mate. Oh, that sounds grim, mate.
No idea. Hold on, let me take that.
It's been on and off all night.
Thrown out the window.
What's that?
Still going on.
Is it more mic or is it more?
All right, Cal. I know you're not on. No, it's still going. Might need to mute yourself, Ed. All right, okay. I know you're not on X-Cal, but the Eze meltdowns yesterday were incredible. So like, obviously, it was pretty much a done deal. That can you still hear me, Cal?
I can hear you, mate. I can hear you.
Okay. Oh, Cal's gone.
Yeah, I think it was Cal's speakers. It weren't mine.
Oh, okay. Listen, Ad, the meltdowns on X were beautiful yesterday. The Tottenham tears were incredible. Regardless of how close they thought they were, it was always quite obvious that not that we were going to try and buy him, but that he didn't want to go. Like his preference was always to come to Arsenal, so he was willing to wait until the very last minute before committing himself to a move to Tottenham. And I saw some great videos of people talking about how Eze was going to come in and add dynamite to their attacks, and it was the signing of the summer. And then as soon as it was announced by that Orny bomber that he was coming to Arsenal, oh, you know, he was overrated player anyway. Like it was just incredible. Now, the only way that he can be announced now is if it's him and Sol Campbell in the video. I think that's the only way we can do an announcement now. So, all in all, considering that things were so doom and gloom after Havertz got injured, and we still have, we were obviously out of the Eze running and all this type of stuff. The last sort of 48 hours on Arsenal Twitter have been absolute bangers. So good times for us.
It's glorious though, mate, isn't it? Like it's glorious to see that their meltdown, and
it was very good.
What more can you want?
I have been very much enjoying winding people up over the past 24 hours, and it was quite good because I don't know what that guy's name is. Is that his name? Essence or something like that. The Tottenham fan who kind of like does these ridiculous monologues and whatever. I couldn't find his monologue about the Eze one, and friend of the show, Tabs, he dropped it in a link for me, and I watched him go off on Eze decided to join Arsenal instead, and it was just poetry. It was great.
They don't like it when it happens to them. That's the problem, isn't it? They don't like it when it happens to them because
it's happened to them twice in the same window. They basically got 2 here we goes, and they've both fallen through.
Well, they should. Let's not beat around the bush. They're a toxic club, so
they are a toxic club.
They are toxic. They're toxic. They deserve anything they get.
I just really hope that Sol Campbell is in the video, because it automatically becomes my favourite video of all time.
Well, the fact that Eze is in
if it's Sol Campbell and Eze playing chess, I cannot begin to tell you how happy I will be.
Is Eze a chess player then?
Yeah, he plays chess. He won a chess competition recently. That's true.
Did
he won a chess. Yeah, he did. Google it. He won a chess competition recently, and he was on holiday playing chess with Richard Branson.
Well,
so if him and Sol Campbell are playing chess,
that is checkmate.
That is checkmate. And the only other thing would be is if Petit is driving him in the taxi to get him to the chess game. With
can you imagine if you just stopped out all the legends that?
Well, no, because did you hear the Petit story? Do you know the Petit story?
No, go on.
So Petit was going to sign for Tottenham before he signed for Arsenal, but he had the chat with Tottenham, and it was all kind of like, yeah, that looks good to me. They put him in a taxi, and as he got in a taxi, his agent rang him and said, I'll go and talk to Mr. Arsene Wenger at Arsenal. So Tottenham paid for Petit's taxi to meet Arsenal.
That's insane.
So it would be wonderful stuff if Petit could be driving him to this game with Sol Campbell. It would be amazing. That's what I'm hoping for, mate. That's what I'm hoping for.
Petit in the cab. Imagine if you got all the Arsenal legends to just chip in, and just another one on Spurs. Like just everything just teed up.
Yeah, it would be wonderful. I mean, apparently that the media team are already excited about the video, so God knows what it's going to be. But apparently, he didn't play tonight. They're hoping to get it all done by 12 o'clock tomorrow, apparently, so that he can be on the bench against Leeds.
That's a big ask, isn't it?
Well, if they can get it done by 12, who knows?
Do you reckon they'll get it done by 12?
Depends on how desperate they are to have it all done. I mean, listen, it took them nearly 2 months to sort out Eucharist, and it took them 12 hours to sort out Eze. Less than that, 4 hours. So,
I suppose they had to
wait until already agreed. Apparently, payment structure's already agreed. So what is it? I suppose it could be done. So, we'll see.
I think it's a good signing that. I mean, when I heard Spurs were after him, I was a bit concerned. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I didn't want him to sign either.
Very concerned. So, yeah, I'm glad that now you boys have managed to trump them and kind of make it. It strengthens you in numbers, doesn't it? I mean, I can't imagine seeing Spurs with Morgan Gibbs White and Eze as their midfield centre pairing. It just would have it just tipped me over the edge, I think, especially with two players that West Ham would link with many years ago. So
yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see because I think they are going to play him on the left, and like I said, I'm not sold on that. But if
he played left for England, didn't he?
He did, but he's okay. Well, it's not what he would say his best position is. But if Arsenal signed you and say we're going to play you centre back, you're playing for Arsenal, so you'll play wherever you're told to play, aren't you?
Yeah.
So I'm sure he'll be fine. And you know, do you know what he is? He's a bit of a maverick, isn't he? And I think that's what's exciting for Arsenal is because everyone else is obviously well drilled and everything else like that. And I'm sure he will become well drilled as well. But he has that flair that Odegaard is capable of as well. But he has that kind of just that maverick style. And I think that, like I said, I think that's the type of thing that Gyökeres will really feed well off. And I do think those two will strike up a potentially lethal relationship on the pitch.
Yeah. It's just one of them signings, and you think, you know what, that's a good fit. That is a good fit. And I think Eze going into that, and I can just imagine him wearing the Arsenal shirt as well.
I mean, God, the free kick, the way he struck that free kick against Chelsea. It reminded me of the one that Gerrard scored against Arsenal all those years ago, where it was past the goalkeeper. I think it was Seaman even. It's past Seaman before even Seaman knew it had been kicked. Like, just an absolute sledgehammer of a kick. So I think he'll offer a bit of versatility in terms of our set pieces as well, which I think would be good. You know, he's fast on the build-up and everything else like that as well. So, yeah, I am so pleased that he is coming to us, and it's all but done. You know,
and the fact that you're investing in young English players as well, that's something that doesn't really get applauded much. I mean, you've bought Madueke, you bought Declan Rice, you bought now you're going to get Eze. Like don't
forget you've got Nwaneri, you've got Miles Lewis-Skelly, you've got Ben White. There's an English contingent there that Arsenal haven't had it in a very long time. And I'm not fussed either way, but when you can see so many people from the same team who could potentially be starters for England, that's quite exciting as well.
Yeah.
I just think, and then you've got Max Dowman coming through. There's a lot to be excited about at Arsenal at the moment, and it just kind of that Eze. I mean, I already thought we were having a really good window, and that Eze sign just pushes it closer to a 9. Really, the only thing that can really make it better now is if Arsenal turn around and be like, "Yeah, we're getting Morgan Rogers or Rodrigo," and then it's 10, isn't it? Or it's 11 out of 10. The only thing that would be better is if we could shift some players. But what we've brought in, we've raised our floor and we've raised our ceiling. We've done both.
Yeah, that's it. You've repaired the roof that didn't need repairing. And that's what Liverpool have done, haven't they? Liverpool have won the league and they've gone out and just gone on a massive.
And they've done well. They've bought
drive, haven't they?
They've bought players that have they've lifted Robertson because obviously he's on the back end now. They bought in Kirkes. Is it Kirkes?
Yep, Kirkes from Bournemouth. Yeah,
they bought in Kirkes, who is going to be a good left winger for them. They bought in Frimpong, who a bit like Trent, not great defensively, but will become another midfielder in the attack, which is what Liverpool like to do. They like to overflow the attack. Obviously, they're going to keep going and doing what they're doing with McAllister, and I forget the other boy who plays next to him.
Slobosly.
Slobosly or the other one. Wonderful defensive midfielder. He's a young boy.
Gravenberch.
That's it, yeah. They're going to keep doing what they do with those three, but then the other four, they've got, is it four? Yeah, the other four, they've got some wonderful players there. Vertza, I think, will come good. They've got Salah, who's probably got one more year before he goes to Saudi. You've got Gakpo, who was probably their best attacker, actually, against Bournemouth. And then you've got Ekitike, who quite clearly is going to be a good striker. And it's a case of they probably don't need Isak, but I get why they want him. But actually, Ekitike and an understudy would probably be enough. An Ekitike and I don't know off the top of my head, right? Not the person, but someone like an Ekitike and a Wissa would probably be good enough, because that Wissa's good. Because the Isak thing, I mean, they might get him eventually, but it's not going to be easy going, is it? And you could even argue whether Liverpool need him at all now. So
yeah, they don't need him.
No, what a way to endear yourself to a new club. I know I'm not the one you wanted, but I'll be what you need me to be, or I'll try. And then you've got all these wonderful football players who can create around him, like Liverpool. Liverpool should win the league this year. People keep saying, well, Arsenal are favourites now. Why? Liverpool were clear winners last year. Even if you could make up some of the points with bad decisions against Arsenal or injuries or whatever, Liverpool won clearly. They've improved the most, or they've improved by adding at least 4 immediate starters to their team. So if they've made themselves better last year than they were last year, they had Darwin Núñez up front this year. They're already better. They should win the league again this year. I don't want that to happen because I want it to be Arsenal. But if you're going with that logic of who's improved the best or who's improved their ceiling from a ceiling that was already higher than everybody else's, then Liverpool should win the league again, shouldn't they?
Yeah. They should do. I say they should be doing it. It'll be the first time they'll ever win it back to back, won't they? Like, I know they've only won it twice since the Premier League in its inception, but to win it back to back, that is a massive statement from Liverpool for something that they haven't done for years and years. And I suppose they want that level of dominance of what Man United had, which is to see them go from so many league titles and then completely dominate the Premier League era. It's definitely something that burdens them big time. So I won't be so what's the word? I'd expect Liverpool to be winning leagues more often than not now.
Yeah, but the only other thing I would say is it will be interesting to see if Slot can do it again.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I would say, I think. Like, can Slot go again?
Slot machine.
We shall see.
Yeah, just seeing some transfer news. Callum Doyle has gone to Wrexham. Bournemouth are interested in Axel Disasi. Interesting. Eze absent from Palace. Let's have a look. Saints confirm Rosalov signing. So he's the guy that's in the ChatGPT FPL team.
Who's this?
Roslov. Roslov.
Oh, yeah.
Roslov.
Yeah.
He's now at Southampton. Is he on a permanent? Yeah, he's gone permanent. There we go. You have to rethink that 4.5 defender option. You have FPL teams now. Let's have a look at any other thing worth watching. No, that's pretty much it. Eze can take Arsenal to Premier League title, believes Paul Merson. Mark Gahey. We have to keep Mark Gahey. That's what he said.
Say that again.
Oliver Glasner has said Crystal Palace have to keep Mark Gahey. for the second leg of their UEFA Conference League playoff. So he won't be leaving until they qualify for the Europe, I imagine.
Oh, mate, listen, someone's already done the petite picture with Eze in the car.
Oh, chat. Is that AI? Yeah.
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 So good.
It'd be funny if you use like a was it N17 credit card or something like that to pay for it?
Yeah. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Wicked. All right, mate. Well, let's leave it there
2
for
hours.
another week. 2 hours. Yeah, we've done well. Done well. But yeah, no, thanks again, mate. Hopefully Callum can get himself some decent headphones or a laptop. That'd be great. Maybe you might be able to hear what we hear every week. So
All
right. Boy. See you later.
Good night, mate. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hola, and we cheer, and we spill a bit of beer. Raise a glass to the past, and the mates who ain't here. From Highbury to Upton Park, it's now Ashburton and Stratford for a lark. It's the Old Dad's Our Job podcast, the heart of the game.